Hello, dear students. Welcome back. Hope you have started working out with your Google Sheets. So, you would have seen Google Forms, isn't it? So, Google Forms, if you have seen Google Forms or created Google Forms, you would have seen that the responses are stored in a Google Sheet. So, I have created a Google Form and also a Google response sheet has been automatically created. So there may be different values that may be entered here. For example, here I have given my name, value Z, you have languages known. Here you can see that the different languages has been separated using a comma. If you need to access these values separately, or if there is a duplication of values available, or if there is some extra spaces included here, all this can cause hindrance when you are trying to process your form or you're trying to retrieve the data. For example, there may be duplicate data entry from the same name, but there may be difference in the space or character spaces. Okay, so there may be repeated data which may not be required and which can cause errors during data analysis. So we need to check for duplications or check for extra spaces or blank spaces, etc. If something like that is existing, you need to remove all these things. Google Sheet provides you facilities for all these things. Okay, for that you are going to use under the tab data, there is three options given: split text into columns, remove duplicates, and trim white spaces. Okay, so here you can see I have included two resultant of response of the form as values where there are extra white spaces. So I need to check or remove this white space. For that I have selected the data. Under the heading data, there is an option called trim white spaces. Okay, so trimmed white spaces will be removed from the cell. So you can see all the cell is having just one space between text, or it is having no extra white spaces before or after the name or any other content as such. Okay, so we have removed all the white spaces. Now next, the problem that can arise is there may be a repeated data. When you are asked someone to submit the form, you would have seen that same person must have more than one time applied or submitted the form, isn't it? So if you have more than one value, that is going to be the data inconsistency can rise. For that you have to remove all the duplicate values. For that I'll be selecting the values by data. I'm going to remove duplicates. Okay, so when I click on remove duplicates under the heading data, I get a pop-up box like this. Here I have to select on what basis I'm going to remove. Normally we'll have email ID or name as a primary factor, isn't it? Primary key. So that value I'll be selecting. I'm going to select column B. Name, if repeated names is there, I can remove all that repeated names. So I'm going to, because all other fields are not unique, I'm going to remove. So I have removed all the duplicate values. So the form, the values, the responses that you have received can be managed. Here the next thing is, here I have selected the language is known, and these values are coming as comma separated values, isn't it? So I want it to come in different fields. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that particular field, set particular data, and I am going to split it into different headings. Okay, for that, under the heading data, there is an option called split text into columns. So it is automatically, it has split into different columns. Here you can see you can be comma separated or period or space with what, depending upon what you want to split the content. Normally we do this for first name, second name, last name, or if you have country name, or if you have some other values which are they have given us the single response, like your mobile number. Two mobile number will be included as in a single column. In such cases, it can be separated into different columns. This helps us when we need to process data in the atomic value, or you need to analyze data or process data. All these techniques, all these facilities provided by the Google Sheets assist you. Another feature with you can use with Google Sheet is to autofill the values in a column. If you have you enter a text or a number or a data in at least two cells next to each other, and you want to copy the sequence, you can use autofill option. For that, you are going to select enter two values. It can be a number or a date. You can highlight, you select the two cells. When you select the two cells, you can see a blue button in the corner. Okay, see here, I have selected two numbers. You can see a blue button. When you drag it down, you can get a consecutive series. So similarly, if it is a date, I am writing as 7th September 2020 and 8th September 2020. I have entered two dates. When I drag the remaining thing, I'll get the next consecutive dates. Similarly, here you can see this is to add text. When I copy the text, you can see since it cannot find any further sequence in that, the same text will be repeated. This is known as autofilling option. Okay, so the next thing that we'll be discussing is how to create a tracker. Like if you are given an assignment, or if you are given a column where you need to specify whether you have completed it or it is partially completed, or you need to differentiate the status of a particular work based on the value given, or you need to segregate based on the mark given. So for that you can use conditional formatting. So under the heading format, you have an option called conditional formatting. You select the set of data that is used, or set the row or the column that is used. Click on format, and under the heading format you can see conditional formatting. Click on that. Here you can see the range for which it can be applied. I am going to give a range as the set E2 to E33 if I am giving. Okay, that will be applied to E2 to E33. What is the condition? What is the format rule? I have said if it is empty, I want to give it a particular color. Okay, or if the value is equal to, if the text is the text start with yes, or if it ends with a particular, or the text is exactly, if I say it is a yes, okay, then I need to set a color. Whenever the response is yes, it will give you it will be written in a green color. So if your status the chosen is complete, it will be giving in one color. If it is some other one rule I have given, and if the text is exactly no, I want it to come in a yellow color. Okay, so this what happens. So whenever there is a no, it will come in yellow, and if it is a yes, it will come in green. So like that you can give a formatting. Or another option is you can give in a color range. To include a color range, you're going to select the set of values. Inside format, the same technique, you're using a conditional formatting. Here instead of a single color, you will be giving a color scale. Apply to the range, you're going to select the set of values. This color range can be used when you are having a rating, 1 to 5 rating or 1 to 20 rating is there. For that rating, you can give color scaling. So here you can see preview is there. In the preview, you can select what color you want. So your minimum color is given. What is the, for the minimum value, what is the color, and for the maximum value, what is the color. So doing this means you can see a color range. If it is 1, you will get in white. If it is 5, that is a maximum value, you will get it in a darker shade. So you can identify what is the status. So this is known as a progress tracker. Another thing that you can do is to include a notification. Notification means earlier we said that our file could be shared with multiple people, or your friends or your colleagues will be working on your sheet. So if you want to know whenever there is a change in data, you can activate a notification. For that, you will be using under the heading tools, you can see a notification rule. Okay, so when you click on notification rule, notify me at my mail ID whenever change is made, or whenever someone submit a form. We have a form associated here, doesn't it? So whenever someone submits a form or makes a change to my sheet, I'm requesting for a notification that can be either on daily basis, or it can be immediately after the change or the submission is done. If you give the details, that is, save it. I'm not going to save it. Once you save it, you will get a notification whenever there is a change, or whenever someone submit the form, or whenever there is a change made to my sheet immediately. Okay, so this is how you can set a notification rule. The next thing that you can require is, as I have said earlier, you can log the critical contents. So critical content, if I have a particular set of data that need not be shared or need not be edited by someone else, I can limit that. For that, I'll be selecting which is the columns. For that, this is the columns I want not to be edited. I'm going to select these two columns, and under tools I can protect the sheet. Here in the range, I'm going to give sheet A and B columns need not be changed. You're going to set the permission. So the permission is set as warning when editing is done, or restrict who can edit the page. Only you can edit the page, or you can permit custom permission can be provided. That is, you can permit the people who can edit the page. If I'm giving, this person can also make the changes. No one else will be permitted to make changes in this particular column. Or if I don't want anyone to make any changes in this particular sheet, what I can do is, I can similarly I can take from the tools, protect the sheet. If I give a sheet 1, in the sheet no one will be able to make any changes. And if in the sheet also I want someone to make changes, for example, this is my mark list, so I can permit people to make changes in C, D and E. Okay, so I can give except columns, my ranges C, D and E. These three can be changed. Remaining everything will be should remain unchanged. So whenever they enter the mark, automatically other values will be computed. So here also I can set permission who can make changes in these unpermitted spaces. Okay, then so this is how you can protect your sheet. The next thing is how you can share your page. For sharing, you can click on the share button here. Here you can get a page like this. Either you can copy the link and permit anyone on the internet with this link can view this particular thing, view or change whatever you want the others to do. You can set the others as a viewer, commenter or an editor. Viewer will be able to just see it, commenter will be able to comment on it, editor will be able to make changes on it. Okay, only the people with the permission as an editor will be able to uh, permit someone else to edit the sheet. Otherwise, if I permit someone with the link, or I share the document with someone as a commenter or a viewer, they will be able to share it further only as a commenter or as a viewer, whichever right they have. They cannot permit editor right to anyone else. And that's all for today. See you in the next series.